Boxing's mad, man. Derek Chisora got robbed tonight. Listen, Derek Chisora is not my favourite person, as everyone knows. There isn't a lot of love between me and Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora fought his heart out tonight, and I thought he won the fight by at least 2 rounds. And I think he got robbed tonight, and it's very unfair, man. The guy left it in the line, knocked Joseph Parker down in the first round, and I think he won 5-6 rounds after that. And the knockdown should have been a 10-8. He won the next 6 rounds after that. He probably won the next 5 rounds after that, 10-9. And then he won the last 2. And then he won round 10 and round 12. Boxing's fucked up, man. Jeez.
Ooh, what's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Dillian, the booty snatcher, White. And I gotta give credit to Dillian, because Dillian White, in some respects, is like the YB, in as much as I judge people on a case-by-case basis. There's some people in this world who are just hating-ass, looking-ass dudes, who will just hate on someone, full stop. Me and Dillian, or Dillian in this example at least, yes, he doesn't think Derek's his favourite person in the world. Nonetheless, he doesn't use that to ride against him at every opportunity. Many people, when Dillian got chipped, when Dillian got turned into Nate Robinson White, when he fought Povetkin the first time, many people hopped on the bandwagon and punked him. Punked Dillian whilst he was down. Dillian, to his credit, giving Chisora his props. And this is the thing. It shouldn't even be about giving props. This is a sport. The sport is objective, or I like to think it is. Boxing is an objective sport. And again, fundamentally, or blatantly, statistically, Chisora versus Joseph Parker was a pretty objective fight as well. Very basic stuff going on in that fight. It wasn't like a load of, well, you know, Parker was tucking up and countering, and, you know, it wasn't none of that. Chisora went in there. Who inflicted their will? Chisora did. But he wasn't sloppy with it. He was in there working. Chisora, to his credit, was doing everything I beg AJ to do against Fury. Chisora went in there and got to work. Simple as that. I don't see how he could have lost that fight. And then when you factor in, when you actually break it down round by round, Chisora is 2 points up from the jump. From the first round, he's 2 points up. Do you know how hard it is to really come back from that? You have to pretty much put on a boxing performance or get a knockdown yourself. When you go down in the first round, it's a massive uphill battle, because you've basically got to find, well, in 11 rounds, you've got to find a whole heap of points. You can't afford to lose rounds after. Listen, when you go down 10-8 in the first round, you can't afford to be giving rounds away. It becomes desperate at that point. You have to win it. Just to get a draw, you have to win 7 rounds. Just to get a draw, you have to win 7. To win the fight, you have to win 8 rounds. So, listen. What we do know is, Parker didn't win 8 rounds. That's for sure. And if you don't believe Parker won 8 rounds, that means he didn't win the fight. Because the only way Parker could have won this fight, bearing in mind he didn't score a knockdown, was to win 8 rounds. I struggled to give him 4 rounds. That's the truth of it. I think Derek won 8 rounds and got to stop it and got a knockdown. So to go in there and then for Parker to win is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what planet they're on, apart from the Eddie Hearn brown paper bag planet. Because this has happened several times now. Now, I didn't actually mind. I thought Chisora deserved to lose the Usyk fight. In the Usyk fight, he didn't have that same tenacity. He didn't have that same ferocity. He took it easy, in my opinion. He thought Alexander Usyk would be too easy. Too small, didn't have no respect. And when when Chisora doesn't respect you, he treats you that way. When Chisora doesn't respect you, he doesn't prepare properly. He doesn't get in that mental space. And this has happened time and time again in Chisora's career. Whenever Chisora doesn't take it serious, he ends up losing. And that was the same as the Usyk fight. Didn't take it serious, turned up and just went through the motions and backed off and didn't get to work and got beat. But even so, some people said it was a contentious loss. Now, Chisora goes in there, gets straight to work. Really, yeah, I don't care what no one says. Really, I struggled. Like, when you score that fight, you could arguably give every round to Chisora. I think, no joke. If you was being biased, yeah, you probably could give every round to Chisora. That's the kind of fight it was. It wasn't. Parker didn't really do anything. Genuinely speaking, I didn't see him do anything. I didn't see. Bearing in mind as well that Joseph Parker is the younger man. For me, yeah, when you're the younger man and you've got the quicker hands, you should really be setting pace. You have to earn that. That makes sense? I score boxing with a more holistic approach. And when you're in there with an older man and you've got the quicker hands, you've got the fresher body, I expect you to be blatantly winning rounds. So when it's the other way, I think Parker lost 12 rounds back to back to back. Not one point did I see Parker say, I'm the younger, hungrier man. I've got more to prove. I'm the higher level athlete, and I'm going to show that. Show what, for example, people who think Parker won that fight, show me which round you saw Parker set pace. Tell me which round. Tell me which of the 12 rounds you saw Parker set pace. You saw Parker decide to show his class. Show me the round you saw Parker show his brilliance. Show the judges how he's a class above. In fact, never mind all that skill stuff. Just show me the round that you saw Parker digging in, proving, showing to the judges he wanted to win this fight. Show me it. Which round is it? Which round can you sit there and say, YB, look at round X. That round, you can clearly see Parker really wanted this fight. Can't see it. I can tell you which round you can see Chisora wanted it. Go to round 12. Chisora gets rocked. Could have easily said, you know what, I'm winning all the rounds. Let me sit back now. Take a break. Absolutely not. He gets rocked and sticks it all over Joseph Parker again. This was an embarrassment to the sport of boxing. For the judges to mark it that way. An absolute embarrassment. And for all you man out there, I'm sure there's some Joseph Parker fans out there. I'm sure there's some New Zealand. Good day, mate. Want to buy a kangaroo? Good day, mate. Oh, mate, you know I'm right, mate. Joshua, mate. Joshua's chinny, mate. Oh, you're right, mate. Good day, mate. Want to buy a kangaroo? I'm sure there's a whole gang of you New Zealand dons out there who think your man Joseph won. You thought your man Joseph was doing the most in there. I'm gonna tell you straight. I'm straight down the line. If Joseph Parker performed, I'll be telling you the same way I told you when Usyk did what he did, got the win against Chisora. But one thing that exposed Joseph Parker to me was go back and watch Joseph Parker versus Hughie Fury. That there is a clear win for Joseph Parker. Clear win. In that fight, Hughie Fury was complaining he got robbed. He didn't get robbed nothing. Joseph Parker in that fight came to fight and stuck it all over Hughie Fury. All over him. In fact, it was like a kind of exchanged places performance. In that fight, Joseph Parker clearly showed he wanted to win. In that fight, he clearly showed he was the superior fighter. In there, setting pace. 100%. There's no doubt who set pace in that fight. Yeah? Now compare it. What happened to that Joseph Parker? That tenacity he had. Just watch the fight. And that's how you can tell that Parker's a bully to certain fighters. Parker will bully. Joseph will bully Hughie Fury, who can't punch, because he's genetically flawed. He'll bully him. No problem. Joseph Parker has no problem bullying the genetically flawed dons. The Furies, basically. Essentially, yeah. Basically, in heavyweight boxing, Parker got no problem bullying the genetically flawed dons. Chinless and got no power. That's the Furies for you. But anyway, that's what he did. But the minute he's not fighting them, when he went in there against AJ, he was giving it a good talk. Oh, mate, good day, mate. Want to buy a kangaroo? Joshua, mate. Joshua's chinny, mate. Oh, Joshua, mate. Joshua's chinny, mate. Got Joshua's chin in my hand, mate. Giving it all that business he was. Went in there. And he ain't never been the same since. I hate to break it to you dons out there, but ever since Joseph went in there with AJ, he ain't never been the same since. He broke him. AJ broke him in, yeah? Broke him in. And the scary thing is, AJ didn't even really set pace. AJ was going through the motions in that fight, just putting a bit of a jab on him. Even that broke him. Joseph Parker hasn't been the same since. He hasn't. Never been the same since. He's been much more reserved. And I guess after you've had that big Africanulese jab driving down your cart, it's no shock that you're half the man you used to be. AJ took the better half. Joseph Parker's better half got took by AJ. And that's simple as that. That's what the science says. If you look at the actual correlation, Joseph Parker was ferocious. Joseph Parker was all over Hughie Fury. He goes in there with AJ, and we haven't seen that done since. But that I'll give you that example just to contrast that Parker can do it. Parker can show his brilliance. But in this Chisora fight, he didn't bring it to the table. And even, to be honest, even the Parker versus DILLIAN WHYTE fight, to his credit, he did kind of semi-turn up in that fight. But even then, he half-bottled it. He only really went to work when Dillian was out on his feet and knackered. So, it's one of them ones. Parker, all in all, he needs to take some, I don't know what, maybe take some time off, maybe not, but I've seen him change trainers. And when fighters start changing trainers, when certain fighters start changing trainers, sometimes it can be a good thing. We've seen what Fury's done. We've seen what Lawrence Okola's done. But other times, and really it's more of a case-by-case basis, but sometimes people change trainers and it's for the right reasons. Other times people change trainers and it's for the wrong reasons. I believe Parker's changed trainers for the wrong reasons. Now, YB, what wrong reasons are they then? Well, I get the feeling Parker's changed trainers looking for something outside of himself. Does that make sense? I get the feeling like Parker's like, oh, I'm not feeling how I want to feel. Maybe it's my train, blaming everyone else kind of thing. No, it's within you. Your attitude into the Fury fight, into the Hughie Fury fight, was a certain way. Nothing to do with your trainer. Yes, your trainer can, to an extent, make you more or less ferocious, but in the main, you wanted it against Hughie Fury. Against everyone else, you don't really want it. Against people who can bang, in fact, it shows that Parker doesn't believe in himself when he fights people his own level or above his level, because he went in there with that next Kiwi Don, and he mauled him. Parker mauled some next Kiwi Don, and he had no problem doing that. But the minute he goes in there against someone his own level, he cacks his pants. He turns into Joseph. He earns his namesake, Joseph Parker. Anyway, he got robbed. Chisora got robbed, and Parker needs to do the rematch. And what he needs to do is find his nuts, because otherwise he's finished in his career. The trainer ain't gonna make no difference. It's within you. That burning fire, next time you fight, you must have the burning fire. The same way, if you listen, maybe Joseph needs to go back and watch his Hughie Fury fight. That's what he needs to do. Watch how you perform then. Look at the hunger in your performance. It was clear you wanted it. I haven't seen that since.